that's a good side to me here.
One of your better two sides, yeah.
I may not get out of here. Hi there, this is Captain Q and my old sailing buddy Randy. Join us as we travel hither and yon as we look for some great deals on classic boats and learn a little with each one.
Okay, Captain, you got a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, there's always explaining to do when you're on the Mississippi, Randy. And I gotta tell you, I'm just about to pull into St. Louis up here a ways. I'm on this here skiff. This is a Ralph Stanley vessel. It's gonna help me trace the footsteps of Meriwether, Lewis, and Clark, okay?
Really?
Yeah. But I gotta tell you something. You know, back in 1801, our country was very clever to elect the guy that wrote the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson, third president of the United States. He got in office and he said, our country only goes to the Mississippi River, right? Nothing after that, a void. So he very cleverly talked to our good friends over in Paris and said, we'll buy a little piece of your land. I'm like, let's call it the Louisiana Purchase. He picked up all and parts of 15 states for our country. Unbelievable, for a mere 15 million bucks.
$1 million a state.
You're right, there you go. And that was, of course, in 1803 dollars. So as soon as he got that deal put together, he said, I got to find out how can we get from our part of the country all the way over to the Pacific Ocean. So he hires these two guys. One of them used to be a secretary from a fellow named Meriwether Lewis. He went out to put together what was become known as a journey of discovery. And he found a fellow named Clark, and this became known historically as the Lewis and Clark Expedition. And they were going to take off, and they had a flat-bottomed a barge and two pirogues, I think they call them, which are sort of like small rowing boats, relatively speaking. And that's what they took up, and they left St. Louis and to head toward the Pacific. Now, when they left St. Louis, they had a choice. And I don't know what they knew about it, but they could go left and go out the Missouri, or they could have kept going north on the Mississippi. Well, they went left and went out the Missouri, and they found the Pacific Ocean with the help of Sacagawea and some wonderful American natives and so forth, indigenous souls. And they helped them out there, and they had a great trip. They came back. And, you know, this reminds me a little bit of the Shackland story. They went out with 28 people. They lost one person in about 3 days out who had a bad stomach. He died. But he got the rest of that crew all the way out on the trip and back. And one other fun fact on this I love, they took a dog with them. Do we like dogs?
We love dogs.
He took a Newfoundland.
Oh, big Newfie.
Big Newfie. You know what the dog's name was?
It wasn't Sea Dog, was it?
Close. Seaman. Seaman. So he took Seaman with me. So I'm bringing Sea Dog with us on this trip.
He must be a Seaman's progeny, right?
I think he is a Seaman progeny. So this was meant to be. So anyway, let's fast forward to about 1994. A man named Holyoke Whitney, who I've not had the pleasure of meeting, but had a wonderful idea. He apparently had cruised quite a bit of the southern part of the Mississippi River, and he wanted to go do the northern part and sort of retrace, but not retrace, Lewis and Clark. So he went to Ralph Stanley and said, would you do me a favor? And here's what I want. I want a narrow, shallow draft boat that I can take right up to the, I think it's Lake Itasca, where the Mississippi starts, up in Minnesota, considered the headwaters of the Mississippi.
Wait a second. Who's Ralph Stanley?
Oh, well, Ralph Stanley is what our past governor of the state of Maine referred to as the boat building laureate of Maine.
Wow.
Ralph Stanley,
that's some high accolades.
Oh, I mean, this guy is unbelievable. His father was a fisherman. He started to learn a bit about boats and started to build some boats, a little boat by himself. And then somebody came and said, will you build me another boat? And he did. And he's been building boats since, I don't know, I guess it's maybe the early 70s or so. And all his boats were built out of wood. And that's what this particular boat is, all wood too. No fiberglass, nothing on it. And he's one of the last of the great wooden boat builders in this country. Sadly, Ralph left us last December 21. And so the boat we're on right now today is really super special for lots of reasons, not the least of which is this is truly a collector's piece. This is a wonderful boat that is one of the only boat that Ralph Stanley ever built like this. He didn't build a couple of them. He didn't build 3 or 4 or 5. It wasn't his design. Somebody else designed it. He said, I can build that. And he did. It's really the funnest looking thing you've seen. Talk about beam. We like beamy boats, right? How about all of 5 feet?
This is the anti-beam.
This is anti-beam. 5 foot long. It has an 18-horse Yanmar diesel engine in it. Black strake shine on the hull you see down here. And very flat bottom. Notice how flat she is on the bottom down there?
Oh, yeah.
And she's got a nice big prop and a little rudder there to send him where she wants to go. Back in the Lewis and Clark days, they did make it all the way out to the Pacific and back with the loss of only 1 man, which is just 1 man more than Shackleton lost.
So they have to drag it across land?
Oh, they gave up on their boats. I think they stopped them at a few places when they got into Montana,
Okay.
where the Missouri ends or begins. We love the subscribers.
Yeah, more subscribers means that we're going to get recommended to more people, and so that helps spread the love and spread the word about old classic boats and what we're doing, so every little bit helps.
Thanks again. This is really a unique and custom boat done by a master boat builder here in Maine, and the last of these boats, the one and only of these boats that will ever be built and sold. There's a great book that's come out by Craig Milner and Ralph Stanley himself. They both contributed to this volume, and it's available readily. Just go online and you'll find it. It's a great story about a really fun gentleman.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description below.
Wonderful. Now let me just show you a couple little things here. There's so many nice little tiny features. Look at the boat hook here. Look at this nice wooden boat hook with the hook on the end there. Good old-fashioned probe. There are 2 steering stations here. We have the big rudder back here with a separate set of controls for the gear and the throttle. Okay, right here. So you can sit right in this area, and it might be more convenient depending on the weather. Inside this box, believe it or not, we have an engine.
Oh.
Now let me see if I can just pop this open for you. There we go. Now, how do you like that for engine access, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Couple of batteries set right in place, all bolted down, neat as can be. And that's a Yanmar 16 horsepower, I think they said, 16 or 18 horsepower. Full set of controls here on the little bulkhead forward. You see that?
Yep. It's underneath the tassels.
Yes. You can't see them with the tassels there. But look, these are all tidy, clean. There's switches for the boat. Actually has modern instrumentation on it. And you've got compass lights, navigation lights, depth sounder. So he's ready to find his way up any narrow creek or stream that the Mississippi might narrow down to. Pretty cool, huh? I have this little console here, and what a great place to put your chart. Right on this nice big chart table right here.
I thought you were going to say sandwich.
You could put a foot long there.
2 foot.
That's 2 foot long. Now, coming forward, the rationale behind a lot of things is never always evident. So we just keep checking things out. But there's a little fold-up seat back, and I have a little hole there to put stuff in. And we've got our gauges. Here's our compass right here, so we know where we're going. A nice little Ritchie bulkhead compass. Can you see that all right?
Yep.
And
I don't see the radar.
What's that?
I don't see the radar.
No, you won't see the radar. I think that's a safe way to put that. You will not see the radar here. Let me put that back on here. And on the other side here, we have some data marine instrumentation for a depth sounder and speed. So as I always said, if you've got a chart and you know your speed and you know your depth, you can go on anywhere. Oh, and plus a compass. So you got the 3 major ingredients to navigation. And you're going to be in a river in this boat, right?
Yep.
So you never have to worry, because if you don't know where you are, just turn sharp right or sharp left, and you will find land. So no fog, no problems. Now this has a forward area here, and well, before I get to that, it's got one of the old push-pull steering mechanisms here. If you look aft, you'll see the tiller moving back there. Do you see that? Now I'm just steering the boat right now. I can push it a little. Let's see what happens if I push it forward. We're going to go to port. Okay, see the tiller back there behind me?
Yeah.
If I bring it aft, we're going to go to starboard.
All right.
It's a really nice steering system. The Navy uses in a lot of their 30-foot crew boats and things, so power boats off the ships. So there you go, single handle steering. I got a full set of controls back here too, dual set for the engine. I'm very comfortable right here. I'd like a little cushion here probably. And then forward to me, we have some cabin space here. I am now going to head below in the forward cabin here. Actually, it's the only cabin. And I'm going to get comfortable.
All right.
And I hope there's some accommodations down here for me.
Well, we don't have the pillow for you, but we have something more appropriate for the time period.
Did you shoot this on the way over here?
I think so. That's not my style.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me see how I fit down here. I'll be there in a minute. You know, back when you were doing expeditions in the 18th century, this was pretty commodious, you know?
Lux.
Yes, this is deluxe, right? You're right, exactly. It's definitely luxe. And it's kind of interesting. You can see all the fastenings down here for the hull. This whole thing's been bolted together. Look at that. And I got a feeling.
Yeah, is that common for a wood boat?
I have never seen it before. I've not seen a lot of that many wood boats, but I mean, I've seen a few, but I've never seen anything bolted together.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I think they got a name for it. I can't think of it right now. But I've got a fire extinguisher down here, and I got a place I could put an anchor, but we're just going to pull in and tie up at the shore, right?
Yeah.
Find a tree. I could think of a million uses for this boat, other than finding the headwaters of the Mississippi.
Yeah, what would you use it for?
I would just keep it in some quiet little harbor and just go puttering around all day long. Bring some friends, have some lunch, take it to a beach, just run it up on the beach probably. It's so shallow a draft. She's flat-bottomed. No keel or anything to worry about, and just have a good old time with her. Oh, one other thing I should mention, this boat is sitting on its own trailer.
Oh yeah.
And it's a double axle trailer, I think, right? But thank God we had explorers for a moment. If I can just go back and I've read the story now of Lewis and Clark and their expedition and what they went through. It's pretty remarkable. And what they did for our country and expanding our country, almost doubling the size of our country with their knowledge and with, of course, the purchase itself. So pretty spectacular. And what a great project for some man with an explorative mind like Mr. Whitney, who decided, oh, give me some funny little boat, send me up the Mississippi River, see if I can find my way up to Lake Itasca, and wend my way through the bull weaves or whatever he's got to do, and discover America for myself. So it was a fun project. It ended up creating a great boat. Ralph Stanley, the master builder in wood, did this boat one off at a time, and it is very special, and we really have a unique piece of floating history here. This is a collector's piece we're sitting on, and only one in the world, okay?
Does your jacket go with it?
No. I'm saving it for my next expedition.
What's that going to be?
I don't know. It might be up the Saco River. It's really close. It's right over there, you know. So that's the deal. Hey, Randy. How you doing, pal?
Good, good.
Listen, you know, every once in a while we're really lucky. We it's like driving on the road and you hit a bump in the road. You're used to driving smooth and everything's just normal, and then something shakes you up a little bit, doesn't it? Did we get shaken up a little bit on this particular episode?
I don't know, did we?
I think we did, because first of all, This is not a sailboat today, I'm sorry, but it's really kind of a funky boat. It belonged to a gentleman who decided he wanted to trace the path of Lewis and Clark. And he got somewhere from, I think, way down south up to Cincinnati, and then at that point decided to stop this project, and he put the boat on the market, and she's now ready to go up the Missouri and how far ever you want to go with the boat. So it's kind of a goofy sort of thing, but we couldn't resist it. We just had to take a picture of this boat.
It was just too cool not to check
Yeah,
out.
it was. It's the skinniest boats. It's not, I mean, the CQ barely fit into this thing, number one, but it had a nice little diesel engine in it and room for a couple people to drive and steer. And we sort of felt like we were back in the days of Jefferson's land grab, didn't we?
Yep.
What was that, the Louisiana Purchase, I think?
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah, a very good deal. We wanted to share this with you today, so we hope you'll enjoy this vessel that was a model of the boat that took the Lewis and Clark expedition up to the point where they had to go afoot and find the rest of Jefferson's land. So anyway, we got to give this a rating.
Yeah.
Okay, here it comes. This is the very best Lewis and Clark boat we have ever seen. I'm giving it a 100.
Oh.
A 100 rating for Lewis and Clark power boats, and you can't beat it. And anybody out there that thinks they can beat it, send us a note. We'd love to hear it and see their boat.
I think you give it such a high rating because you just wanted to show off the tassels.
I did. And of course, you knew that, didn't you?
The tassels are part of the algorithm.
Yep, yeah. So anyway, feel free to try and figure it out for yourselves, but a big fat 100 for Lewis and Clark. Thank goodness they made that trip. Otherwise, we wouldn't have California or Seattle or Utah or all those states out there that we collected. It was a hell of a buy. Anyway, this is just a fun shoot. We hope you get a chuckle out of it too. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when the next one comes out, please hit the alert bell. And that's not desperate at all. Randy, how would I ever find out what's coming up next?
You can follow us on Instagram here,
Yeah.
or Facebook here. We'll have little previews of what's coming up on our next episodes. A little bit early.
That's pretty cool. Previews. You all join me. I'm going to Instagram right now, and I'm going to find out what's coming up next week. Thank you very much.
You know, Instagram's not a place.